The Constitution, which anymore seems to be senselessly stampeded upon per daily basis, is an erosive covenant between the ruling elite and their indentured servants, the 99%, you and me. Article 1 within this mere piece of parchment, as viewed by statists, delegates Congress with the authority to, quote, coin money and, quote, regulate its value thereof. However, ratified by United States President Woodrow Wilson, the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 stripped congressional command over coining money, striking the first domino of thousands in an accumulative series of phases towards the looming debt crisis. While complexly purported by its heads, the shadowy Federal Reserve is neither a private nor public institution. Ironically, though, the Reserve's wicked select members that compose its board of directors are presidentially appointed, requiring no counterbalance of influence or consent of other governmental branches. An auxiliary function of Wilson's Federal Reserve Act mandated the division of the nation into 12 sectors, each of which containing a regional Federal Reserve Bank, the most influential residing in the belly of the beast, Washington, D.C. In identifying itself as the United States Central Banking Authority, a fraudulent powerhouse of economic and financial stability, or lack thereof, one may infer that the Federal Reserve is structured with an involuntary menu of expectations when, truthfully, it's quite the inverse. Despite the wide-ranging responsibilities of the Fed's board members, printing money out of thin air, perversely regulating interest rates, and discreetly making loans to whoever they like, they aren't held accountable. No audits, no transparency, no honesty. Stemming from this hiccup, decisions are based on the interests of covetous, autocratic banksters and corporate puppeteers, instigating bailouts, funded by your taxpayer money. The cycle is harmlessly initiated when the Federal Reserve begins counterfeiting money at faster rates, inflating the economy and devaluing the dollar, constituting it as debt basically, as it's worth less than its characterized value. Because the deficit-inducing wrath of unemployment prevails due to budget cuts, corporations nosedive and banks lower their interest rates to evade jeopardizing their capital. Then, the pickpocketing process from taxpayers to bankers and corporations is settled by the Fed's purchasing of garbage or mass quantities of the respective institution's assets or products to bail them out, under the radar. Well, why? The Fed's directors invest in banks and corporations to partake in cronyism. Therefore, by bailing out an akin establishment, these entities lend a helping hand while yielding exponential revenue to pretty much hoard for themselves. Similarly, when the government needs money to fund the next malevolent construction of a drone and slaughter innocents, they first summon the Federal Reserve. But before they are issued the loan, they must print bonds or securities from the Treasury to reinstate credit to the Fed. Though, because of America's obnoxious monetary obsession, the government is required to pay interest for the detracted loan, automatically indebting U.S. taxpayers to the mafia bankster elite. As if the degradation of America's financial supremacy isn't infuriating enough, the Fed has consistently indulged foreign banks and corporations with interest-free loans. Folks, this isn't neoconservatism, it's tyrannical economic globalism. Basically, whoever has the legal nerve to print money is reciprocated with a filthy sum of linen and cotton that, in our culture, miraculously equates to a valuable commodity. I say that the government abolishes the Federal Reserve and reverts our system to the 18th century's gold standard, portraying currency in a prestigious and sensible manner, worth that cannot be materialized at a Fed member's reckless will, amplifying inflation rates and the debt crisis. Otherwise, sequestering the national budget and lowering tax rates would jointly assist in depriving the Reserve of its fiscal influences. Further, I have confidence that endorsing a laissez-faire capitalism system, a free market, would purge the Fed's deception and corruption, evolving one's own mediums of exchange beneficial to all the involved parties, and ultimately competitively clashing with and collapsing the Fed, brick by brick. If resilient action isn't taken against these profitable oligarchs shortly, a rebalance of power to a more accountable Congress will be unfeasible. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot let these crooks get away with their mischievous exploitation of power a minute longer. Indifference to evil is evil, my friends. Reporting on behalf of Press for Truth in Liberty and Vigilance, Andrew Demeter, signing out.